Okay, hopefully you tried that one on your own, but here's how you do it. So I have two different denominators, so I can't add them yet. I need to get a least common denominator. So I'm going to go over here, and so 15y squared and 18xy. Let's expand those. So 15 I can write as 3 times 5 times y times y. 18 is going to be 2 times 3 times 3. Again, make a factor tree if you need to. Times x times y. So let's do our little test here. So which one has more 2's? This one. Which one has more 3's? This one. Which one has more 5's? This one. X's? This one. Y's? This one. So we're picking which one has the largest amount of every factor. And then my LCM, or LCD, if you want to say, is going to be 2 times 3 times 3 times 5, which is 90, xy squared. Xy squared. So that is what you're going to set your problem up like this. I know I'm going to need to multiply by something, but in the end I want my denominator to be this, 90 xy squared. Alright, so now is when you need to figure out, okay, what did I multiply? We'll do this one first. 15y squared by to get to 90 xy squared. Well, 15 times 6 is 90. I know I need a 6. And then these both have a y squared, so I'm good there. But then it's missing an x. So I need 6x. Same thing on the top. So 7x times 6x, 42x squared. Okay, now for the bottom one, what did I have to multiply 18 by to get to 90? 18 times 5 is 90. And look at your variables. It already has an x, but it's missing a y. So y times another y will give me the y squared. So 5y over 5y. Y times 5y is 5y squared. Now I have the same denominators, so I can add. So I'm going to do 42x squared plus 5y squared, and then keep my denominator. Again, those are not like terms, since this one has an x and that's a y. So I'm just going to leave it as 42x squared plus 5y squared over 90xy squared. And I have my answer. Okay, next type of example is when we're adding and subtracting with polynomial denominators. Alright, so we practiced finding the least common denominator with polynomials earlier, so we're going to use that skill here. Now, if you see a problem written horizontally like this, I would switch it to be vertical. I think it's easier because you can kind of set it up nicely like this. But it's up to you. So I'm going to switch it to be vertical. So this is equal to, alright, and while we're at it, so the first step for adding and subtracting with polynomial denominators is you want to try to factor the bottom first. Okay, so I'm going to leave the top as w plus 12 and factor the bottom. 4w minus 16, I can take out a 4. So I have 4 times the quantity w minus 4. I just factored this by taking out the GCF. And then I'm subtracting w plus 4 over, I'm going to factor this denominator now by taking out a 2. 2 times w minus 4. All I did was take out a 2 there. Okay, now I'm going to try to subtract. Denominators are not quite the same, but they're close. So if they're really close, you might not need to do this side work to figure out the least common denominator. You might be able to say, okay, the only thing I need to do to this denominator to make it equal to that denominator is multiply it by 2. Because 2 times 2 is 4. So if I take this and multiply it by 2 over 2, because we've got to do the same thing to the top, this is now going to become, so let's multiply the denominators. 2 times 2 is 4. You only multiply one of the parts by 2. And then it's important to distribute this 2, because I want to multiply w plus 4, all of that by 2. So I'm going to distribute the 2. It's going to be 2w plus 8. Distribute. Now my denominators are the same, so I can subtract. I'm going to go ahead and just rewrite this as it is, because I like to see it written vertically like this. The important part is, though, not to add. We are subtracting. My denominators are the same, so I'm good to go, but I'm subtracting. So I'm going to take my 2 denominators and subtract them. So I'm going to do w plus 12 minus the quantity 2w plus 8. Don't forget to put in parentheses. I'm subtracting all of it over 4 times w minus 4. And just simplify this a little bit more, a couple more steps here. So this is going to be equal to, I'm just combining like terms here. If it helps, you can change this to plus and then change the signs. So this is w plus 12 minus 2w minus 8 over 4 times w minus 4. So combine like terms. W minus 2w is negative w. 12 minus 8 is 4. Now, this is an extra fun one, because although you might think we're done, you can actually get it a little bit more simplified by using our -1 trick. So if you look at these 2 quantities here, they're the same but opposite signs. Negative w versus positive w. Positive 4 versus negative 4. So if I factor out a -1, I can actually cancel or simplify a little bit more. So I'm going to take out a -1 from the top, changing this to positive w minus 4. And now I can actually cancel that out. So I'm left with just -1/4. All that, and I get -1/4. Whew, okay, that was a long one. Now, pause your video and try the very last problem.